We finally got access to the tweets that got Jordan Peterson in trouble. Apparently, he called Justin Trudeau a puppet. Stop puppet! Now, what's your end game? Lay it out. So, because he has a potty mouth on Twitter, he's a very naughty boy, and he needs a little bit of re-education. Now, this re-education thing is something that happened in Soviet states, and it's still happening in China. The idea is, if you are a high-profile person, and the government doesn't want you to be viewed as being persecuted, what they will do is to give you a chance to re-educate yourself, to get a correction. So you would see when the protests in Hong Kong happened, there were a lot of people, high influential people, journalists, authors, that would support Hong Kong, and they would be against the Chinese regime. So what the Chinese police did is that they would abduct these people, send them to mainland China, where they would have to issue an apology, where they would have to say that, yes, what we did is wrong. And then that apology would have been made public, and it would show that, well, look, you know, like they corrected the error of their ways. It's also what Twitter does. Like, the current system at Twitter is actually one that's since the Jack Dorsey era. And if you post something that Twitter doesn't like, you have to delete the post yourself with your own hand. Like, you have to acknowledge that you did something bad. And this is part of human psychology, because when you do something, you want to support your actions subconsciously. This is what all humans do, right? Like, when you do an action, then you need to back up why you did that action. You have to justify it to yourself. So this whole thing that they're trying to do to Peterson, to make him go through this re-education process, where he's going to admit that what he did is bad. And this is to set a precedent and to show to other people from within the industry that if you misbehave, if you step out of line, if you dare to have a personal life outside of your work, if you dare to have opinions on anything that's not work-related, you too can be Peterson. And apparently this is what some of the tweets are accusing him of doing, like having opinions on environmentalism, having opinions on COVID, having opinions on the trucker protest. Like, all of these things are not allowed in Canada, right? Like, if you become a psychologist, you need to donate your heart and your soul in a contract etched in blood to the institution, to the higher-ups at the institution. And from that point, you become the puppet, and they tell you what opinions you're allowed and what you aren't allowed to share, so that the public can view the unified front, okay? They can view the expert consensus, which is forced by an iron hand, right? Like, all the experts, imagine a black fist of Canada grabbing the experts tightly and making sure that no expert steps out of line, because if they do step out of line, then they stop being an expert. It's pretty much what happened in Romania. I was actually talking with a friend of mine about how things were being done under socialism. All the economics experts in Romania agreed that communism is the best economic system ever made on the planet. And the people who disagreed, well, they were fired and they weren't experts anymore, right? So this is the type of environment, of inclusive environment, that Canada is trying to create with their institutions. In other words, you need to listen to the experts. But if you're an expert, you need to listen to your superiors, because if you don't listen to your superiors, you stop being an expert. So Jordan Peterson is now deciding to troll this Canadian board by pointing out that they are forcing him to pay for his re-education. Like, this is the funniest thing ever, right? Technically, it's a fine, what they're trying to do, right? Like, they're trying to punish him financially. And Jordan Peterson is saying, okay, well, if I'm the customer then, right? Like, if I get to benefit from this very important re-education, I want to live stream it. I want to live stream my re-education to the internet. And take into account the number of people that complain about Peterson are in the dozens. The number of people that support Peterson are in the millions, right? So the public court of opinion is definitely on Peterson's side on this. However, I really doubt that they're going to allow it to live stream it, because they are ashamed themselves of what they do. They know that what they do is wrong. They know that what they do is fucked up. They don't want people to see it. And you get to see this with school boards. You get to see this with university professors. They are very aware, and they are deeply ashamed of their conduct and what they are doing. But in order to have power, in order to manage to control people, they have to do it. But they don't want the public to see it. You know, Sunlight is definitely the best disinfectant. This is why the comments have disabilities all over the internet. They really know that the public is against them. But I guess they justify that it's for the public's own good. This is how the Canadian thinks, right? Like, it's for the public's best interest. The public is just stupid. They don't know any better. So we're just going to help them on their way, even if we have to use these bad tactics. So apparently it's definitely because Jordan Peterson was edgy on the internet that got him into trouble, as well as having opinions against environmentalism like you shouldn't, right? The only entity that mankind has created in order to stop the planet from dying is the government, and the government can only stop the planet from dying by taxing you more and forbidding you from driving cars, right? Like, that's settled science. The scientific consensus. And if you disagree with it, then you're not a scientist anymore. You're going to get fired. And all of the other beautiful stuff that comes with it. I will be going on a live stream later on tonight. There's a link to it in the pinned comment. And I'll be talking about all of the naughty things that Jordan Peterson has been accused of doing. Like, look, even the fact that he doesn't find this to be beautiful. This is also very problematic, right? Like, look. Beauty isn't subjective anymore. Like, beauty has become objective. And if Jordan Peterson says that he doesn't like a woman, then, well, can he really be a psychologist at this point? I would like to point out that I disagreed with his take as well. Like, I even made a video laughing at you know, like him going after that particular lady when there are many other examples he could have gone for. But I still disagree with the fact, like, okay, so he can't be a psychologist now just because... He doesn't like a particular publication? I mean, that's absurd, right? So the idea is that, no, like, if you're a clinical psychologist, literally everything you do from that point, every moment of your life needs to be dedicated to clinical psychology. You're not allowed to have your personal opinions. You're not allowed to have your personal takes. You're not allowed to be edgy on the internet, right? You're not even human at that point. You're just a fucking robot that is controlled by science. I think, like, this is how they view it, right? Like, science is this entity, and it puppeteers the scientist. Like, like the Holy Spirit, you know, like when the Holy Spirit went into the apostles, this is how science died. Like, they go into Dr. Fauci, and now Dr. Fauci is the science. He's like the avatar. These people are fucking insane, man. Like, when you actually look at their ideology and you try to analyze it, holy shit. Let me know what you guys think, though, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section, and don't forget about the live stream, because I'll be going through these. They're very funny indeed, and we're going to have some conversations regarding them. Oh, and before I forget, I need to shield myself. There's also a link to my Subscribe Star. If you want to support the channel, there's a tip jar there where you can donate as much as you want. Maybe one day I'll be sent to the education camp, huh? And I already have the money to pay for it. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.